thankfully everything panned out where we got the win. Everybody got out of the game okay, feeling good. And hopefully you can keep taking care of business so that you have optionality at the end of the season, but who knows?
Steph, I asked Draymond about your quote about meaningful basketball and how's your demeanor different? Does Steph change at all when the basketball becomes more meaningful? And he said you can get in the weeds in terms of strategic suggestions, telling Steve he needs to be in the game right now, as an example. How do you feel any changes when it comes to April, when these games become obviously more important? How do you see yourself clicking into another gear in some way?
You always had a competitiveness, like the energy can go up and down depending on what part of the season. It's obviously really hard to have a sustained level of everything for 82 games, but sense of urgency down the stretch, the feeling of where you are in the standings, every game mattering. Is that a word? Every game matters, and the idea that like the chess match of how do we win this particular game becomes a little bit more important. And so we talk every game in huddles, but you are a little bit more animated at times when you feel the sense of urgency because of where we are at this point in the season. So we thrive off of that. That's why we've been so successful for this many years, because as the stakes rise, the lights get brighter, we tend to level up.
And what prompted you to ask for E to come in? That seems like something you don't normally do.
Not that particular suggestion. It was just an idea. We had a 10, 12-point lead to become a little bit more versatile defensively. Like, we don't need to score any more points. It's just trying to get stops. And Guy is obviously a great energy guy. But, every game is different. So whether it was in L.A. last night when Jimmy was in the back getting his wrist checked, it was me and Draymond went back in the last minute and a half of the third quarter. Like, those little decisions can swing the momentum either way, and it just shows we're engaged.
Steph, I don't expect you to do a Draymond and call a championship here, but given what you guys just did at Memphis, Lakers in L.A., back-to-back, after an incredibly long road trip, beat Denver, all three playoff teams, all three teams you could see pretty soon in the postseason. Is this a championship-level team you're on right now?
We're playing like that. We have a lot of work. I've been saying that since this run started. We have a lot of work to do, and we still have a lot of work to do to finish the year strong. You are seeing an identity on a night-to-night that we understand how to win games, whether it's games where the tempo is a lot faster, you got to score, or if it's a grinded-out defensive game. We've played better in fourth quarters with leads. All the things that championship-caliber teams do, we've been doing. And it's clearly different than 2 months ago. So just an idea of hold on to that energy, and for us to just be able to get into a playoff series, we understand what we're capable of. And whether you're predicting it or speaking it into existence or whatever it is, like, the confidence is there. So just ride that wave.
Steph Curry whipping the crowd into a frenzy in that second quarter, Monty. Steph going off for a dozen, but how about getting it done on the defensive end? What did you think when you saw it charge?
I thought, what is he doing? What are you doing, man? You almost didn't play this game because you were sore back there, and there he is out there taking charges against guys that outweigh him by 20 and 30 pounds.
Yeah, when I saw that, I did think, what are you doing? But also, yeah. And then he took another one later in the fourth quarter when they had a big lead, and he didn't have to take it.
Exactly. I mean, that tells you he's willing to sacrifice, obviously.
Okay.
And so you look at where the team is and where he is. like I said earlier, he smells this. He smells what's possible,
Yeah.
and he's willing to do whatever it takes to take the Warriors where they. He wants that 5th championship so bad,
Yeah.
and he knows that the better position they are in at the end of this season, if they can finish in the top 6, that gives them a little bit of a break. And he's 37. Draymond's 35. Jimmy's 35. You think those guys might want a little bit of a break?
Yeah, we will take a look at the schedule because it will probably end up being, it's at least 6 days of rest, might be
Yes.
a full week, which
Yes.
would be life-changing, I think they would say.
I mean, they'll practice and stuff, but it
Yeah.
won't be games, which
Right.
means a different level.
Right, there you go. Okay, one of the guys who's really emerged in this starting lineup and playing really well alongside Steph is Brandon Pajemski, who's lined tonight 26, 8, and 6. So leading the team in rebounds, leading the team in assists, but it's his three-point shot, Monty,
Yeah.
too. That's looking special right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it, but Steph is used to playing with guys who can really shoot next to him.
I know what are their names. Yeah, Clay Thompson. Yeah.
And so Brandon is right now shooting at that level.
Okay.
He is shooting at that level. He ain't the same player. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah,
He ain't the same player. But the way he's shooting the ball right now opens up things for this offense, and it helps Steph out because, again, anytime that somebody else on Steph's team is getting buckets, that means a little bit of room for Steph. Yeah. Not much, a little bit of room.
Well, you know what you
because
can
they're
do
going
with
to
that.
follow him.
That's right. Steph does a lot with millimeters.
Yes.
And Brandon Pajemski, thinking about his journey this season, at the beginning of the year, we were talking about a sophomore slump for him.
He wasn't
his
good.
Three-point shooting
He
was
was
down.
not good.
He was in a funk. Those are some natural things that happen when expectations catch up to somebody, or just you start appearing on the scouting report a little bit where it gets harder.
I think that was it, too. I think it was a matter of expectations. There were a lot of things said in the offseason about how good he's going to be, future all-star, yada, yada, yada. And you can say what you want about, that doesn't bother you, but you hear it.
Yeah.
And so I think Brandon was trying too hard early this season. And when he sat out for a while, he was hurt. I think he settled in and saw what was happening. The game slowed down for him, as we like to say. And when he came back, he was a different player.
Yeah.
And you see him now. And then, of course, Jimmy's addition has helped everybody on this team, probably nobody more than him.
There you go. All right, well, Pods is part of the 14-0 starting lineup when it's this starting 5, and we'll get to that when we continue on Dubstock Live, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World. Why does this...
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn câu tượng. Tượng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là cà chua. Các bạn hôm nay tượng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là cà pháo. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt đầu câu.